Hey, all right, welcome back to Cedar Grove. I thought it would be fun this time to kind of do something a little bit different. And I want to show you the grounds of Cedar Grove and more importantly, kind of show you my vision for it. I do want to make some changes, but I want to really kind of respect what's here before, including, as you see behind me, it's the famous terraced gardens of Cedar Grove. Of course, there's nothing here right now except for the terrace. This was laid out when the house was first built. The story is it was actually laid out by a famous French botanist, André Michaux, although I kind of have my doubts about that just based on some preliminary research. He did do some stuff in South Carolina, including Middleton Place, and I think some of the confusion is he did another place named Cedar Grove outside of Charleston, across Middleton. But he did come up to this part of the state, so it's possible. It's just there would need to be a lot more research into his papers and stuff. But I have plans for this, of course. And then, so let me start off by kind of showing you the overall plan and my vision, and then I'll go through and show you piece by piece. Okay. Okay, so I've retreated indoors to show you this part. So the previous owners had done, I guess, hired a landscape architect. They were making some changes themselves, and so they have a plan here, landscape design, that really maps out all the trees and shrubs that were on the property at the time. I think this was back in the 90s, or late 90s, early 2000s that they did this. So I kind of use this as a guidepost for my own plan. As you see here, you see the main house there kind of in the center, and in front of that are the boxwood that are currently laid out, although in their kind of decimated state. So all I need to do is kind of replant where it needs to be replanted, and you see it's really kind of laid out in this kind of angled pattern in the front. To the left of that, you see the terraced garden. And of course, what I want to do is line up with boxwood on the right-hand side at the top. And then, of course, create this, again, not a labyrinth, but this walkthrough of the terrace. So it'll be kind of lined with this U that will be shaped in kind of a wave pattern that will alternate between each level of the terrace, which I think will make it very visually interesting and a fun garden to just kind of walk through. On the other side of that is the parterre, which is in between the main house and the kitchen house. The center part of that parterre is going to be really, the inspiration comes from the fan light above the doors on the side of the dining room and the wallpaper room. And then that creates a boxwood alley that you will see, although I have it colored here where I'm going to plant some perennials too to make it a little bit of a flower garden. Be a long boxwood alley that will go down along the side of the house, ending in that semicircle of the yellow you see there on the left of forsythia. And at the center part of that forsythia will be the deer statue that I already have down there. Behind the kitchen house is the existing boxwood alley. Now, when I was doing this sketch, I had been to the house really one time, and the way I remembered that boxwood alley, I guess I didn't really walk in as that was a straight lined boxwood alley, but it's not. It narrows and it curves. So the plan I put in here, I can't quite do, although I am going to do something similar to that. I'll just have to adjust based on that. This drawing does incorporate the whole parts of the yard. It doesn't really kind of show what I'm doing along the driveway, nor does it include the lawns at the back where I'm going to put in the tree alley. But you can see at the very bottom, that's all the tea olive that I've planted along the front to kind of shield the road and create a little bit more privacy and hopefully cut down on some of the noise reduction. But this plan gives an overall sense of what I hope to accomplish with the garden. And so now I'll just kind of walk you through and show you all of that in detail. All right, let me show you a little bit here at the front entrance. I wanted to kind of make this a little bit more grand. So the first part here, you see these gates. One of the first things I did, they had kind of dinky urns on them. And I'll go stand over this just to give you scale. Instead, what I did is I added this cap to them and then bought these giant urns. The other thing I'm doing, as you can see right here, I wanted to soften up the gates themselves. So I planted some creeping fig and it's starting to take off well. So I look forward to seeing that, how it grows. But look, it's massive. So here's my hand. Well, that doesn't give you any sense. Oh, let me try this again. All right, so here I am. It looks so small compared to me, but look, these things are pretty big. So let me come up right beside it. Here we are. See, it's pretty tall. They're pretty massive. And then the other thing I wanted to do is I have planted this Burford holly, not the dwarf Burford holly, but the Burford holly on either side to really kind of create like a wall of hedge. And then it will bleed into this tea olive, which swoops around. And if you look right here, the tea olive swoops around on the other side. Now, the Burford holly over here did not survive the drought that we had this summer, so I have to replant 3 of them. But the rest of them did pretty well. Over here and over here. All right. Coming back here. So I wanted to show you also kind of the driveway and some of the plans I have for that. So there are 2 driveways to Cedar Grove. There's the front drive and this back drive. And this back drive is the one that I use all the time. It's the one with the gates, just to show you. So my plan is to kind of soften the approach along here. So let me turn the camera back around and I will show you and talk about what I plan on planting. I'm going to do a lot of planting this fall. But then again, it's going to be gradually over a few years. But you know me, I like to do everything quickly as much as I can. Okay. All right. So here we are going up the drive. Let me kind of zoom in. So my thought is along here, and this is what we call the south pasture. It's very overgrown right now, the south field. I want to soften this area by planting a series of repeating shrubs. And those shrubs will be, I want to do Camellia, of course, because it's very southern, oak leaf hydrangea, and winter daphne. So I think I'll do them in spots and places. Like I think in this grove of trees, it would be good to kind of incorporate some of that. And then along this side, I want to do it too. So you see I planted some tea olive here to try to hide my utility pole, since I'm not going to pay to bury it. But there are parts along this drive that this tape, by the way, this tape right here is so the workers on the house won't drive through the lawn. Apparently they were doing that. But there were some parts along this drive that I don't want to do anything because there's a pretty view of the house as you approach it, and I don't want to lose that. But here I want to plant some of the shrubs and clean that up and make that prettier. Right there I want to incorporate some more of the shrubs. Kind of incorporate them in here to soften the edges of the forest. As you see along here, this goes into the south field. This is the trail. I've talked about that earlier. I think I've talked about it. This trail circles around, it goes through, you can go this way, you can go this way, it loops around and it goes all the way around the property, all the way on the other side, loops back around, you come back around, and then you come back out. It's a fun little walk. But that's my plan, is to incorporate these shrubberies along this drive to really kind of soften the view. One of the prettiest things about this drive is up here along in the cedar, it has all that resurrection fern that I was telling you about. But look, I just love this. Coming up here is one of my favorite views of the house. And I'll just show you that. All right. And then again, I'm planting a little bit more of the shrubbery right there. Again, I just kind of want to do it to mask some of this overgrown area that you see right here, because I don't have endless money to take care of that. But I love this view of the kitchen house and the house behind it. And of course, there's the pool house. I think that's a really pretty view. So that's my plan for the drive leading into, well, hold on, I'll turn the camera around to talk about this part. Hey, I'm back. Okay, so the other part that I wanted to show you is as you get into the drive, and I'll turn around so you can see it. As you get into this part right here, I want to build a motor court. So I don't want to pave, but I do want pea gravel. And so, and I want it to be lined with brick. So the plan is then you will come up here and you will come into a large motor court that will be a very defined area, and it will just look neater and cleaner than this. Of course, this is very much a mess right now because of the construction and the dumpster and all of that. But there we go. You will approach and then see the house that way. My other parts of the plan is I want to continue the drive. That's my stable. I'll kind of show you that. Oh, as a matter of fact, let me go show you that now. I want to continue the drive going this way because I think it would be pretty. It would be a good place to kind of turn around if you kind of drive back here and show it. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you this one part. Okay, so my idea is, again, you come on the drive there. That's the motor court. The motor court will kind of extend over here. This giant forsythia with that dog cage, that's my well. So I want to actually build a well house for it, but that's a little bit of a later plan. But the motor court incorporated all around this. And then you can kind of continue driving around here and then loop around this area back here. I've started to clean this area up, but as you will see, not very much. But I started to get this area around these groves of trees right here cleaned up so I can pine straw around that and get some undershrub planted in there. And then again, the drive will kind of circle around this tree and around this mound and swoop back around here. Here are my stables. I might as well show you this part now. Let me turn the camera back around to talk about this. Okay, by the way, I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes right now, so I'm doing this all for you. I will be itching tonight. So the stables, I'm not planning on having horses, but they're nice stables. They've been done really well. There's electricity in here. Let me see if I can turn it on. If I know which one it is. It has water, but my thought is, I'll show you the two different sides of the stables, but they're pretty good. Anyway, my thought is, I want to build a tennis court on this side right here. So you will walk through, the stables will become a tennis house. You know, we'll have a little bar and seating area in here. And then you come out on this side, and I'll turn the camera around so you can really see this. And then I will clear this out and build a tennis court right here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so the idea is, see, I've already got this little patio here because they would wash the horses off here. The idea would be to clear some of these trees out, build a tennis court out this way. I would want a soft court or a hard true court. And then I would have, it would be nice and shaded. I would already have this built-in patio. As I said, I would already have this built-in stable in here. That's my insulation that we're putting into the house. Anyway, so that's a little bit of the tennis plan, the tennis house plan. Again, this is a later thing right here, but it's definitely high up on my list. Okay, so I showed you the tennis house. As I said, I'm in the process of starting to clean up this area. But one of the things I want to do here when I clean up, let me turn around real fast again and show you. I'm going to make the outside of this prettier too, just FYI. I'm going to take off the metal because I don't really need it. That's from when they were washing the horses. I'm going to add shutters to the windows, just make it a little bit more attractive. Anyway, that's again where the drive will circle around that mound. I'm not quite sure what that mound is. I want to explore that. There are several mounds throughout the land here, and I assume they're from some other kind of outbuildings that were taken down. So I want to do a little archaeological dig. But every good piece of property should have a hammock. And this is the spot where I want to put my hammock, in between these two trees. And the reason why is because you have a really pretty view of the house. Looking up past the pool house and seeing the house there, I think it's a really good shaded spot and a really pretty view of the house. I'll turn the camera around and show you what else is here, but just very quickly, it's the pasture. Okay, so as you see, I've got some fence repairs that I have to do, and I'm waiting to do that this fall when it cools down. But this is the pasture. I'm about to have it bush hogged. I have it bush hogged, every couple months or so. There's another little stable area for the horses, which it's nice. They have little built-in fans into them to keep the horses cool. But the pasture extends on down that way. And then it comes right up to the house and kind of circles around, comes up right beside the house. So I kind of wished I did have horses for that reason. All right, so I'll walk you back up to the main part. And this fence, by the way, is getting replaced, and I will show you what I'm going to do. I want it to kind of tie into the horse fence, but make it prettier. So I will show you that, and then I think it'll be a good look for it. It'll be simple, a good look. It won't compete with what I'm doing on the pool house, and I'll show you what I'm doing on the pool house again too, because I've changed my design up slightly, but only slightly. All right, well, let me go show you other parts of the plan. All right, so here is the boxwood alley behind the kitchen house. And as you kind of saw on the plan, I had big ideas for this, but then when I came and I actually kind of expected this boxwood alley, and I'll turn the camera around so you can really see this. This alley is not straight, so I think I don't know if they intended to do it this way, but it's a little catawampus. So I'll have to reconfigure what I want to do here. Okay, as you see, the boxwood alley curves. So it kind of comes and curves here, and it's just not straight. It's more straight when you stand right here, but again, this part really kind of curves. I had these urns that were in front of the house, and I've moved them down here. So my plan is, I think I'm going to have these urns that will have stuff planted in here, and then maybe ideally a fountain right in the middle, right at this part that's a little bit straighter. But that's a little bit of the plan. Just keep it really simple. As you see right here, it's a little bit of a brick cemetery. Although I've been reusing all this brick. When the foundation of this house was rebuilt, they took the brick that they could not reuse and put it here. So I've got a whole stash of great old bricks. It's really nice. And so I've been reusing them for where I can reuse it. I reused it to build the steps along the pool house. I've been rebuilding the steps along there, but there we go. There's the kitchen house. And then I'll show you the boxwood. There we go. Excuse me. See, it's really pretty from this side. It will be really pretty once I get this grass reseeded and I get these urns laid out properly and have something going in there. But it's just a little catawampus with that curve. Okay, so one of the main parts of the plan is involved over here on the south side of the house. So let me kind of show you this. This is my septic tank. We have it marked off so they won't drive heavy equipment over it. But the thing that I want to do here, and again, I'll turn the camera around to show you, is between the Cedar Grove, the cedar tree there, and this, I can't remember what tree this is, but I will look it up and post it in there. I can't remember. I want to say it's some kind of, I don't want to tell you wrong. I'll tell you. I want to say it's some kind of olive tree, but I could be wrong. Not olive. I take that back. I don't know. I have that little picture of this app, so I will show you what tree that is. But anyway, in between those two things, I want to do a parterre that really kind of frames out. So the parterre will be right here. Let me turn the camera around and show you big time. Okay, again, the idea is the parterre will extend from the edge of the kitchen house to the edge of there, and it will just incorporate into this area right here. It'll be a big rectangle. And what I want to do is I'll show you. I want to mimic, so let me walk over here. I want to mimic the fan light. Let me zoom in on it. I want to mimic the fan light above the door right there. So that's what the inside of the parterre will look like. There's my stairs being rebuilt. Oh, but look, since I'm over here, the siding's all back on the south side. It's so exciting to see. They haven't put back in the window right here, and we have to redo all the trim work around the windows because there was a lot of rot. So lots of excitement to see. All right. So, ooh, good Lord, did you see that? I almost walked into that spider web. You would have seen me flip out. I hate spiders so much. Hold on, I'm going to stop the camera for this. Oh my God. You would have seen me scream so bad if I walked right into the middle of that spider web. Okay, so with the parterre being right here, that's going to create a wall of boxwood on this one side, and then the terrace garden is going to have a wall of boxwood right there to start the entrance into the terrace garden. And what that will do is create, I'm going to walk over here, it will create a boxwood alley that will, a wide boxwood alley that will go down this direction. I'll turn the camera around for this. The deer, or they're not in the right spot, but they're going to be moved over to there. Well, that's right where I'm pointing. To there. And there's going to be a semicircle of forsythia around them. So they will be kind of in the center of that forsythia semicircle, and then the boxwood alley will come up this way. It's a very simple thing to do. I will then also plant some good perennials. There'll be a nice planting garden on each side of the boxwood alley to make a pretty floral pathway down to the deer. Okay, let me turn around and show you. All right, this will give you a little bit of a sense. Although, again, the deer are not centered right now, so keep that in mind. So the one wall of the parterre garden is going to be right here. The other wall of boxwood is going to go right here. That will kind of frame out the entrance to the terraced garden. And then this will be one giant boxwood alley going down to the semicircle of forsythia and the deer right in the middle right there. The cedar grove in here, and I'll walk you down there, I want to plant like a little shade garden that you kind of traipse through that whole thing. So let me show you that. Okay, walking toward the boxwood alley. And the great thing about this boxwood alley, and I'll turn around and show you, is when you turn back around and look toward the house, it will be right outside the dining room, essentially. So the dining room will be able to kind of look out and look down toward this boxwood alley. And there's the terrace. And then, of course, this will be where I want a little entrance to the shade garden amongst this cedar. I think it'll be really pretty to kind of have it just ramble and weave through all of this. All right, now let me show you the terrace, because my idea of this terrace garden is you're going to have the boxwood right here, lining it up, kind of framing it out. Because what I want to do is make it not like a labyrinth, but I want to make it a little experience where you have a gate where you kind of enter into, so boxwood will incorporate this side and this side. So the only way to experience the terrace is to go inside that boxwood. And then once you're in there, I kind of want to line it with yew that I can shape. And I will show you my inspiration photo, which of course is from Bunny Williams. And that yew will be lined along the terrace, which will create like a little, again, not a labyrinth, but experience. Because my idea is you'll walk into the terrace garden, and what you will do is you will kind of step down over the terrace between the yew, and then you will walk along the terrace this way amongst the yew, and then I can have some other stuff planted within the yew. Although by planted I mean like spring bulbs, because I want to keep it simple. Again, step down again and walk back through the terrace this way. Again, this will be boxwood lining at the top of that. Oh my God, it's really trafficy right now. I think it's because it's our rush hour, and so everybody's going home. This is a path between Greenwood and Edgefield, so I'm getting cars doing that. Again, stepping down one more time, and then walking. Well, let me duck a little bit. This crepe myrtle is messing up a little with my plan, so I have to figure out what to do with it. And then continuing on through the terrace, where you have a final step down, and this final step down will be where you can circle back around, come back up. And so it will just kind of continue like that. Anyway, that's my plan. Okay, so anyway, that's my plan. I just kind of think that'll be really pretty. Again, I'll kind of show you my photo, but when you're standing down here, what you will see is the terrace with the yew, and this yew will be shaped in really kind of a, I don't know, like a wave to just kind of give it some character and kind of looking up. I think that will frame really well. So it's a bit of an ambitious plan, but I've never shied away from anything. Okay, now I want to show you a little bit of the front and what I'm going to do there. I just tripped. So you're getting to experience me in all my great joy right here. Now, okay, so this is the part where we're at the top of the terrace garden, and the boxwood, is going to line right up here at the top, creating a separate garden area here. I already have this ginormous camellia, and this camellia is really pretty when it blooms. So my idea is to create a camellia ramble through here. I want to plant a whole variety of camellias that you just kind of walk through, and then you can look up and catch little sights of the house. So let me turn around and show you that. Okay, here we go. So as I say, the boxwood will line right up here. The terrace garden's down below, so we'll have all the yew. And then this will be the start of the little camellia ramble, where I will just have different parts of the camellia, different types of camellia planted within here in this area. And then again, you will be able to come back up here and capture views of the portico and the house from here. I think it'll be a really pretty view. This camellia ramble will then kind of empty out into the front driveway, but I think it'll be a good spot for this little area right here, because it'll be a pretty view of the house. I can just picture the camellia blooming and the house right there. All right, let me show you a little bit in the front. I have these giant cypress trees right here that were dying, so I had to take that out, which is opened up this area on the road that I want to hide again. So I'm going to add some more Burford holly to this to really kind of frame that out. I've got these magnolias right here, but I need to add one more, they're dwarf magnolias, to the other side of that to even it out. And then on the other side, I'm going to do the same with the Burford holly to just kind of frame out the drive. So I'm getting eaten alive by these mosquitoes, I tell you. So I think that will be really simple and a pretty way to do. These magnolia, hopefully I can get them growing more down here. There was so much undergrowth in this that they haven't seen much light, but now they're getting light, and hopefully that will block out some of the road that you see right here. And then again, let me show you this side of it. This is the part where it was the dead cypress trees, so I cut that out, and then I'm going to put the Burford holly here. And then I've got this jumble of, I don't even know what this crap is right here, but I'm going to cut this out and put Burford holly there. And then of course, this is the front view of the house. Now, the part of this house, and I'll show you, it already has a boxwood design that was laid out. Now, part of the interesting thing, the original boxwood that was here was sold in the 30s to Colonial Williamsburg, and they're at the governor's palace now. There's still some large boxwood that remain, including this one and that giant one right over there. But all else that's here has been replanted. This side has been doing better. This side needs some help. And let me turn the camera around now and kind of show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's the path. It's looking a little shoddy right now because of all the construction. But it has a very defined, laid out path that comes and then angles down that way. And then goes out this way and angles back. Again, I'll put up the photo so you can see it. As you see, I've had some boxwood that have seen better days. And so I've got to do some new planning within here. The good news is I don't have blight. This has been just other experiences. This side, the boxwood has just, I think this was because of the oak tree. It just hasn't had light. It had a lot of lichen on it. We've been fertilizing this stuff. We've been watering it. It's looking better than it did before, but there is some, like over here, that I'm just going to have to dig up and plant anew. But you can kind of see the path that's supposed to be created. Let me walk up the path. And then the path angles down and goes this way. So I've just got to recreate this path. So there's just going to be a lot of boxwood that have to be planted in here. Okay, let me kind of walk you up the front path again to show you. That hitching post doesn't go there, by the way. The workers moved it. So, all right. So when you come up this way, the scaffolding's in the way. You have two paths that go on the one side. This one, that's a brick path that you can't quite see, that goes in between the boxwood here. And this one that goes in between the boxwood here with my cute little gates that you can see. Again, all I'm going to do out front is boxwood. I'm going to make sure these magnolias look really pretty. And that's about it. Oh, I should show you this. I'm also going to, my plan is all along the bank right here. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. All along this bank right here, I'm going to plant Pachysandra. Pachysandra, I will incorporate some spring bulbs in here, and then I will incorporate the Pachysandra over here too, because I think that will be a pretty ground cover that will just make this look a little bit more finished. By the way, these finials, these urns, that's what was on top of the gates originally. You can see how small they are, and why they would have looked really out of place on those urns. Yeah, again, I'll put up a picture to show you, but they look really good here. All right, so there we go. Okay, so that's the, I think that's all of the garden plan. Maybe I haven't shown you everything, but it's a good start to what I'm going to do. I haven't talked about what I'm going to do around the pool house, but that's already kind of done, so I'm not making the biggest changes there. But let me know what you think. If any of you are expert gardeners, please give me your expertise and advice. I can plant boxwood, I can plant evergreens. I'm good at that, but I would not say I'm an expert gardener in any way, shape, or form. All right, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you all soon. Bye. Okay, I haven't said bye yet. Okay, and guess what? I did forget to tell you something. So there's one whole other section of the yard that I've already taken back over, and I will give you my plans for that. I forgot to point that out. So I'm back at the drive, which is going to be the motor court. And on the other side, sorry for doing that so fast. On this other side, you see these two paddocks. Now, these paddocks were used not only for horses, but one of the previous owners was a big fox hunter. And so they used it for all the hounds. And they had like 20 hounds in here. And they would split between these paddocks. Again, I'm not going to have horses. So my plan is, and let me turn the camera around and show you. But my plan is, I'm going to remove around the fence right here along the front and right down the middle between the two paddocks. And this is going to be a giant lawn again. I'm going to leave the fence along the edges and plant the vine on it, just because I don't think it's the prettiest fence, but if I can plant some kind of pretty flowering vine, I think it will be pretty. And then let me turn around and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here are the two paddocks I'm talking about. Paddock, the right paddock, and the left paddock. I'm going to tear down this fence that goes along the front here, all the way to the stables you can't see for the porta-john. And then I'm going to tear down this middle paddock fence, leaving the fence all along the edge. So this will be one giant enclosed yard. And then my thought is right here in this very open area, I want to do a tree alley that comes down because I want to plant some trees that have some really pretty fall colors. So again, if you have good advice on trees that will grow well in South Carolina, right on the Georgia border, give me some thought. But it'll come down here, and you see that little mound down there. Again, that's one of those mounds I was talking about that I want to do a little archaeological dig. It'll kind of end there, and then I will have a focal point at the end of that alley. And what makes that really special is, let me flip around, and I will do this slowly, is when you're then looking on the porch, you will be looking directly down through that tree alley. All right, so you'll be looking directly down through that tree alley, and I think that will be a really, really pretty view, particularly in the fall with that color. So that's the last part of my grand plan. I don't think, again, I'm doing anything that's too hard. I'm planting a lot of evergreen. I think it's easy to take care of. The hard part will just be buying the stuff and getting the stuff planted. The boxwood alley is definitely getting planted this fall. I've already paid for that. So that's the nice part about that. The rest of it, we're gonna see. I bought an auger so I can do a lot of the work myself. But we can see how long that will take. All right, I'll keep you posted on that. Thanks again, and I will talk to you all soon.